This is Energy of Business Moments with Michael Sipe, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet. Hear their stories and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their business success into your life and business. Energy of Business Moments is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Michael Sipe.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Strategic Advisor Board Energy of Business Moments podcast. I'm Michael Sipe, your host, and today I have Beth Sutey of Lego Studios, video production company specializing in commercial and corporate video. Beth, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Sure, glad to have you here. Beth, tell me a little bit about the business. We have come across some of your work before, but you're always creating and doing something new. And so I'd love to hear about where you kind of were and where you are today with your company.
Sure. So I actually started moonlighting as a video producer about 2 years ago, right as COVID started. And my husband and business partner, Brian, is a cinematographer, and we wanted to grow his business. And really the main way to grow the business was either for him to shoot a lot more or to start a video production company that offered the full suite of video production services. So we do it all now. We do pre-production, principal photography, and post-production. So we do all of it. We plan the video, make the video, edit the video, distribute. It goes from there. Super fun, love doing it. And about last summer, I was able to kick it over to working on the business full time. So that's been really exciting also. But we specialize in commercial and corporate video. So it's mostly branded content. We do a lot of documentary style branded content. So commercials that are basically a commercial, but they feel more like your storytelling. And that's really our sweet spot. That's really where we excel, is that kind of content.
Yeah, that makes sense. And of course, telling the story is so much part of the brand. And so quite often you'll see video companies that just want to come in and put out their own content, video, but not really capturing the essence of a company. How important is that to you all when you do your work?
Well, of course, we love it when folks come to us and they need creative support. We love to be creative and to help out with that. But a lot of companies, larger companies especially, that have full-on marketing departments and creative departments, they might come up with their own creative in-house, and they just need someone to help execute the video to a cinematic quality, which is what we pride ourselves on. But storytelling that's how you connect to the customer. It's, the days of just kind of blasting the price and the product out there are kind of behind us. And especially with social media, making videos, making quality content is really accessible now. So to stand out, you've really got to do it right. And anything less than that is actually going to be a kind of a waste of money and a waste of your time and budget also. So I would say either, get out your cell phone and put a lot of effort into making it your own, or hire a professional. And between those two, there's a lot of options in there for creating great content.
Sure. And content's always evolving, right? So you might have a particular brand for a company, but then having a particular product or new area that going into, that's a new story. And so being able to be creative in that space makes a lot of sense. Good.
Yeah, there's a term called Evergreen Content, and that's when you've created content that'll last for several years. If you're having a flash sale for, Arbor Day or something, you maybe make a smaller video, maybe on, just some cell phone content for social media to celebrate that sale. But then if you're going to hire a full-blown video production company, you want to make sure you're getting the most bang for your buck when you're getting professional video content done. So you're really aiming for evergreen content, stuff that you can kind of use over and over again, and splice up into different pieces and use in lots of different platforms and lots of different formats.
Sure. Telling that whole story,
Yeah.
not just a little bit, and having evergreen. Great. Well, as part of the Energy of Business Moments podcast, one of the things I like to talk about is the energy you bring to a business. And there are different kinds of energy, but I talk about the emotions and the thoughts and the actions that we take. So we can be frustrated, or we can be passionate, or we can be compassionate towards employees. There are whole different kinds of emotions and thoughts that we'll have with our business throughout the day and then over the lifetime of the business. So when I talk about high level energy, I'm talking about like things that are, kind of a positive catabolic kind of energy. So Beth, Um, Obviously, one can have low moments too. So, do you have any low moment kind of moments with your business that you've had, and how did you pivot around that?
Uh, yeah. So low moments. There's kind of two big ones. One is kind of more enduring. We are a project-based business, so having a project scheduled and on the books is a great feeling. Not having something scheduled and looking out a couple months in advance is like, well, what are we going to be working on in a couple months? We don't know. That's not a great feeling.
Right.
That's one, and every couple months we experience that, and we kind of just have to take the time to focus on creating content for ourselves, or kind of making the best of the downtime. It's kind of to use a military term, the low op tempo, the low operational tempo times. There's benefit to having that time to yourselves. Um, the other big one was when COVID started, we had this idea to do product video through the mail. People would mail us a product, we'd shoot a video, we'd mail it back. And no one wanted it. So we put a lot of time and effort and money into this idea, and we learned a lot. So kind of bittersweet, I guess, because we did learn so much. We learned a lot about figuring out who your target customer is, figuring out what they want, getting in the mind of your customer, which has helped our commercial and corporate video service improve also. So we learned a lot coming out of it, but failure is never a good feeling either.
No, no, it's not. And like you said, you learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
And I think the key thing to take away too is understanding what the customer really needs. And in the innovation space, when we're being creative, somebody can develop something in the lab, and wow, that looks really cool in the lab, but then it doesn't translate well to a customer, and people don't buy it. So
Yep.
so the idea can be a wonderful thing, but it's obviously the back end where you go and develop the idea, but then the front end of meeting the customer need is so important. And so, how important was that to you to learn that moment that, yeah, understanding the customer need is so valuable for us?
Uh, yeah. I mean, it was illuminating. Kind of shining the light on something that wasn't pleasant to see, but it was better that we got it out in the open. Everyone says, well, I'm in a lot of different affinity groups and mastermind type things, and everyone's like, mind of the customer, voice of the customer, and you hear it, but to actually experience getting it wrong was really probably the most impactful way to learn that lesson.
Sure, right. You can do it the hard way or the easy way
Yeah,
sometimes, and
yeah,
and sometimes those teaching moments we get, those hard times, actually are the most valuable because we actually, one, learn that we're resilient. We bounce back, we try
mhm,
something else, and then two, we carry that lesson with us because of that sort of emotional scar of
yeah,
dealing with that and not wanting to repeat that again. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, okay. On the flip side, tell me about a high moment you guys have had in your business.
Sure. Well, a couple months ago, we shot a car commercial for a 94-foot semi truck. This, yeah, this truck, it's a pharmaceutical technology mobile demonstration show, and the client, the pharmaceutical company, or it's pharmaceutical technology, so
Hmm.
smart cabinets, things like that. They wanted a commercial for their truck. So they went to an agency, and the agency asked us to help with the filming of it. And man, we planned so much, like down to the screw, every detail. We had maps. We had a 75-mile route that we drove. We used drones. We used car-mounted cameras. We had California Highway Patrol blocking off traffic, doing this thing, like to clear the road for us so that we could get these
Wow.
awesome shots with the cameras, and it turned out great. And and when we wrapped, me and Brian were just like, oh, we can do anything now. Like this, it just blew it wide open. Like if we can accomplish something on that scale with the resources we had, which were pretty limited relatively, a car commercial, it can be, millions and millions of dollars for a car commercial. And we created something that was very similar with a minimal crew, minimal budget, and it turned out great. Even our crew members, folks that we'd hired to help, said that they hadn't seen so much done with so little in a while. So we felt really good about that. Like, it really just kind of flexed what we're capable of, and that was a good feeling.
Yeah, congratulations on being able to do that. I mean, you do more with less. So
Yeah.
whenever you do that, like that's, value add for you and value add for your customers.
Mhm.
And then the flip side too is like you were able to push your envelope a bit and do something totally new, totally outside your comfort zone and succeed at it. How did that make you feel afterwards?
Just the confidence went through the roof. I used I used for the map. I used military symbols and graphics to make the map. We did a convoy brief before we set off, so I really leveraged a lot of my military logistics experience to put that together. And it kind of, being relatively new to being a video producer, it really helped solidify my confidence that I have experience that backs up this skill set, and I can do it. So
Mhm.
it was, yeah, great feeling.
Yeah, great feeling and obviously carrying that confidence forward into any new project you have now. You
Yeah,
can always look back on this experience and go, "Oh, I've had it tough before, or I
yeah,
had a challenge before and I overcame and I just used my skill sets that I had from another discipline, i.e. logistics in the military, and just translated that into the situation today." So, congrats on being able to do that and recognize that strength.
yeah. Thanks.
Good. Well, any other high moments you had?
Um, any other highs? We I think the flip side to the truck commercial, we recently we had 3 projects going out at once with 11 cameras going at once across 3 different locations.
Wow.
So that kind of helped us stretch and flex in our capacity. So what we're capable of in terms of the complexity of the content was blown wide open with the truck commercial. And then this 11 camera shoot across 3 different locations really helped us to see that, yes, we're capable of a complexity level. Those shoots it was for a gaming convention and interviews. So we had interviews going on, we had convention B-roll going on, we had time lapse stuff going on, and being able to manage all those different pieces at the same time was kind of a different facet to how a video project can be complicated. So just another project to look back on and say, hey, if we did 11 cameras, we could do 3, no problem.
Right. Right. Yeah. Good. Good. Well, another challenging moment, and you guys adapted and used it in new ways too, and had more content for your client,
Yep.
which is great.
Mhm.
It's always good to come in with maybe under promise and over deliver, right?
Yeah, yeah. We really pride ourselves in the cinematic quality of the deliverables that we put together, the videos that we put together. And I, I think our own personal standard when it comes to that quality is something that people come back for. Uh, there's there's a marked difference between obviously between cell phones and the cameras they shot The Matrix with, but in between there, there's some videography stuff, and I think a lot of times we get compared to like a wedding videographer, which is it's a different thing. It's a different business and it's a different industry. So I think the quality that we put out is sometimes surprising, which is a good surprise.
Right. Right. Yeah, and when we say over deliver, it really depends a little bit upon what you're over delivering on, not just on the quality and the
Mhm.
rendering of the video, but actually back to your whole idea of telling the story for that company or
Mhm.
telling what the evergreen piece is. It will last for a long time and being very clear about that so they can use it as an evergreen piece. Yeah,
Exactly.
that all makes sense. Great.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, Beth, we all have influential people in our lives, and we can think back on some pivotal moments for us as a mentor or as a teacher or something like that. But
Mhm.
today, if you could meet with one person, deceased or living, who would that be, and why?
Oh, wow. Um, I was thinking about this question, and it's, I think now, so just in the last couple days or weeks or so, I feel like Julia Child's kind of been out in the zeitgeist. There's like a new show on HBO about her. There's a new Food Network show about her. So I watched a documentary on an airplane about her, and what an incredible life. And I am a home cook. I can pull off some pretty cool stuff. So she's someone that I think would be amazing to get to meet. And then also, she was a revolutionary in television. She really like invented the cooking show. So I would love to talk to her, not just about cooking, but about television as well.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about her in quite a while, but I do remember being a little kid and watching on a black and white TV, this lady teaching how to cook, and I'm like, wow. And she's got a funny accent too. Like
Yeah, she's a voice,
that's
and she's so tall, and she's just such a character.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, such a presence, and
Mhm.
that's influential people like that would be a great resource. And so talking to her,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's food, but video, like you're producing something that's interesting to people, and
Mhm.
just to be able to pick somebody's brain like that and learn what they learned would be so valuable. Yeah, that's a great one, Beth. Thanks for sharing that one.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. Well, hey, as we wrap up here, how can people get a hold of you? What other things might be valuable for them?
Yeah, so I guess first, some common questions I get about video. How much does it cost? It's kind of like remodeling a kitchen. You need a whole bunch of different specialists to put together a new kitchen, and you can go to IKEA, or you could go like 100%, custom made. There's a range of I don't want to say quality, because IKEA is fine. If IKEA works for you, IKEA is fine. Custom work is fine if it works for you. But that's kind of a pretty strong analogy for how putting together a video is. So given that, and it's probably going to be expensive, getting that voice of the customer correct is really important. Knowing who your target audience is, so that you're making a video that they want to see and that they're going to relate to, and telling a story that they're going to connect with, is really the best way to safeguard the investment in making a professional video.
Mhm.
So those are two just kind of questions I get all the time: is what kind of video should I make, and how much does it cost?
Right.
So it costs kind of a lot, and make a video that your customers want to see. As far as getting a hold of me, we're at eligostudios.com. I am also the only Beth Sutey on LinkedIn, so happy to connect with anyone on there. And if you want to just, if anyone out there wants to just talk about video, talk through their goals or what they have in mind, happy to help. Absolutely happy to help anytime.
Great. Well, Beth, thank you for sharing that piece and those two little tidbits about what commercial video looks like and how one can get that. That's great. Well, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate it. Excited for your business. I've watched it grow over the last year or so, and hearing a little bit more about it today just is that icing on the cake. I love hearing about people adapting and overcoming and bringing more energy to the business. And clearly you've got that energy for your business. So congrats on that. And thanks for being
Thank
on
you.
the show today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This was really fun. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to Energy of Business Moments with your host, Michael Sipe. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.